What's going on YouTube? Welcome back to another video. Today I have a deck profile for a deck that I think is a little this deck is fun. This deck gives you a resource loop that is ridiculous, and it's a fun little dark deck. And before we get started into the deck profile, I just want to ask a couple of favors. If you guys are new here, be sure you hit that little red button down below. My goal is 150 subscribers before before my birthday this year, which is July 6th. And if you guys would also do me the favor of hitting that like button if you enjoy this video. And anyways, I'm going to get right on into this deck profile. This is more than 40 cards. This is 53. There are 7 cards that I do not have, and I will explain those when we get to them. But starting us off, we have 3 copies of Rainbow over King of Dark World. Rainbow has the effect that whenever he is discarded, you can add a level 5 or higher Dark World monster from your deck to your hand. He also has the effect that you can return a level 7 or lower Dark World monster from your field to the graveyard, or from your field to your hand to special summon from your graveyard. Neither of these effects are once per turn. So, him plus Grapha equals you always get 2 cards back to your hand. Next, we have 3 copies of Genta, or Genta, however you want to pronounce it. Gateman of Dark World. His effect is basically Gravekeeper's Commandant, but he searches gates of Dark World. And he has the effect that if he's banished while you control a Dark World card, you can special summon from the banish, but you can only special summon him once per turn. Next, I'm running 3 copies of Snow, Unlight of Dark World. She has the effect that when she's discarded, she can add a Dark World card from your deck to your hand, and then if she's discarded by an opponent's card effect, if she's discarded by an opponent's card effect, she Monster Reborns a card from your opponent's graveyard to your side of the field. Then I'm playing 3 copies of Beige. If he's discarded by a card effect, you get to special summon him, which is really good. And then I'm also running 3 copies of Brow, Huntsman for Hire. If he's discarded by your card effect, you draw 1 card. If he's discarded by an opponent's card effect, you draw 2. Then I'm running 2 copies of Grapha. If he's discarded by your card effect, he can target a monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Then if he's discarded by an opponent's card effect, you can rip a card out of your opponent's hand, and he can also return any Dark World monster except for himself from your graveyard back to your hand to special summon himself. And then I'm also on 2 copies of Silva and 2 copies of Gold, just simply because there are more targets to search off of Rainbow. So typically you're going to search Grapha, Gold, or Silva off of Rainbow's effect. And that is it for the Dark World monsters I am running in my build. Next, we have 3 copies of The Gates of Dark World. Very good card. Not once per turn, just banish a fiend, discard a fiend, draw a card. So basically the combo is if you have Genta plus Dark World in hand, or plus a Dark World in hand, you go banish, Genta, ditch, whatever, summon Genta after you draw the card. So pretty good. I'm also playing 3 copies of Dark World Dealings. I know in the current format with Tier, this card isn't that great. But, if I'll be honest with you, I'm not too worried about it. And if you really wanted to, you could cut this card out and play whatever else you want. Like I said, this is meant to be 60 cards, and the missing cards are not even in this section, so don't even worry about it. Next, I'm running 2 copies of Dark World Ascension. It's the fusion spell. It's a quick play. You can banish materials from your graveyard, or you can discard. Yes, it says discard fusion materials from your hand to fusion summon any fiend fusion, I believe. Yeah, 1 fiend fusion. So pretty good card, quick play. And then if it's in your graveyard, you can add it back to your hand and discard a fiend. Then I'm playing 2 copies of Dark World Archives. This card is okay. It's not the greatest, but it's another way to discard a card. And then if a fiend is discarded by the effect of a Dark World card, you can discard 1 and draw 2, which is an effect. So you're not discarding for cost. And it lets you discard a Dark World to give all Dark Worlds you currently control attack equal to the level of the monster in hand times 100. And that, my friends, is it for the Dark World spells. Let's get into the dangers. Next, so first for the dangers, we're playing 3 copies of Danger Mothman. Another one that's like, you actually kind of have to play this. And I'm playing it at 3, but you have to play this because of it being a level 4. The deck is wanting to utilize the level 4s and the level 8s to make Xyz after you do your link plays. And let me tell you, this deck gets crazy. So Mothman has the typical danger effect where you reveal it and opponent randomly discards 1 from your hand. And then if it's not him, you draw a card. But his unique discard effect is Dark World Dealings. Both players draw 1 and discard 1. Next, I'm playing 3 copies of Danger Thunderbird. We got, he's a level 8. That's the simple reason why he's at 3 in this deck. Thunderbird his unique effect is if he's discarded, you can target a spell or trap on the field and destroy it. I believe it has to be your opponent's, or it's just any spell or trap. Next, I'm playing 3 copies of Danger Bigfoot. Bigfoot is monster removal if he is discarded. I'm also playing I'm only currently at 2 copies of Chupacabra, but I would play 3. I'm wanting to play 3. This is the 3rd copy of this is one of the 7 missing cards. As well as Ogopogo. Ogopogo is 3 of those 7 missing cards. There's already 4 of our missing cards. Then we're playing 1 Nessie. 2 more Nessie, I recommend, even though it's not a level 8. But if it's discarded, it searches. Chupacabra is Monster Reborn for a danger, summons it in defense mode. Nessie adds a danger from deck to hand, which is why I would play it at 3, because it can search any of your level 4 or 8s, whatever you're really needing. And like I said, there's, 6 of our 7 missing cards, and then we got 1 Tsuchinoko, which means the 7th and final missing card is our 1 Jackalope. Tsuchinoko just guarantees you a body for link plays and whatnot. So this is the dangers I have. Just know there will be 7 more. 1 more copy of this, 3 Ogopogo, 2 more of this, and 1 Jackalope. And that is it for the danger monsters. Now into our generic spells, because we don't play traps in here. I got 3 Drag Down into the Grave. This card can be good, but it's also kind of bad. Just depends on the matchup. Like I said, if you're playing against here, this card is like okay. I mean, you can always snipe cards that your opponent can't utilize and whatnot. And then I'm playing 3 Allure of Darkness, just a free draw 2, hit 1 out of your hand, and who knows, if you hit a Genta on a turn that you didn't summon it, you could always Allure, banish Genta, and then Genta gets you a body. So instead of it being a draw 2, banish 1 of the draw 2, special summon 1. And then 3 Pot of Avarice. Pot of Avarice is just really good in this deck. You put any number of dangers from your graveyard back into the deck, draw 2, or you put any of your extra deck stuff back into the extra deck and draw 2. And you know, a mix of the two. And that is it for the main deck. Next, I have the extra deck, and the extra deck is a little weird. There are flex spots in here, which I will point out, but let's get started. I am running 2 copies of the Grapha Fusion. The reason why I'm running 2 of this is simply because this card is really good. It's not a negate, but it's an effect changing card. It changes the effect of one of your opponent's cards to where it reads your opponent discards 1 card, proccing, you know, all of your dangers bonus effects, which is really good. And it has another effect that I'm really not going to get into because I'm going to be honest with you, if you set up your board, your opponent's not playing through it. Then I got 1 Tornado Dragon. One of the flex spots in this is this Tornado Dragon, but with Tearlament being relevant, I would probably keep this one in. It's bonus interruption. Then I'm playing 1 copy of Dugaris. This is a mandatory. You have to play Dugaris. The effect you're using on him is detach 2 to draw 2, discard 1. Gives you, you know, your Dark World effects. Then I'm playing 1 Time Thief Redoer. Time Thief Redoer is kind of a flex spot, but also kind of a mandatory, because you can rip opponents' Tearlament cards off the top of the deck, and, you know, he's not that small of a body. 2400 is still something. Then I'm playing 1 copy of Daigusto Emerald. Emerald is kind of a flex spot as well. As you can tell, there's a lot of flex spots in this deck. So, you know, there's already, 3 between Tornado, Time Thief, Reader, and Emerald. Then I'm playing 1 Bagooska. Bagooska is not a flex spot. You kind of have to play this card. It's just really good not to be playing in the current format, and so on. Then I'm playing 1 copy of number 38. Number 38 is not a flex spot. And that is it for the Xyz in this, which is why I'm saying there's flex spots, because you can play more rank 8s. This is the only rank 8 I'm currently playing, but I'm thinking about putting in different rank 8s over some of the flex spots. And now for the links that I'm playing 1 copy of Saryuja. You really only need the 1, because you're not going to loop through it as often as you used to. And it's just really good to have in here. Then I'm playing 1 each of Nightmare Griffin, Nightmare Unicorn, Nightmare Cerberus, Nightmare Phoenix. I know I'm playing 1 each of all of the legal nightmares to play. The one that I use the most is actually Griffin, surprisingly, because it's part of my end board that I'm trying to achieve with this deck, where you end on Griffin co-linked with our next extract monster, Apollousa. So you make a format Apollousa off the Saryuja, and then you try to climb your way into a Nightmare Phoenix with the Grapha Fusion and number 38. That is the end board, and then throw in a Bagooska if you can stretch it. And then the final card in the extra deck I am playing is 1 copy of Boral Sword Dragon. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this deck profile, and if you guys want to see me do anything with this deck, like make a test hand video or do a test handing live stream, I am more than open to doing one of those. I just gotta know what you guys want, and if you guys want to see me try and finish out the deck, get the rest of the cards I'm missing to put this deck fully together, let me know down below, and let me finish doing this. So anyways, as I was saying, my goal, 150 subs before July 6th, which would be my birthday. And if you guys could do me the biggest favor in the world and share this video around, share any of my videos around. If you really enjoy my deck profiles, please share them around with your friends that are on, you know, the rogue side of things, whatever, or even your meta friends that kind of want something new to play that isn't the same deck that everybody else is playing. And on that note, I'm going to end the video here, and I will see you all in the next one.